Alrighty guys, so someone recently asked me what I thought the difference was between a Platinum player and versus an Immortal player, and there really isn't a whole lot, you'd be surprised. The issues I see in Platinum lobbies still happen in Immortal lobbies. The similarities are still there, but the skill gap is still big enough to where you can see some differences. So today, we're going over a VOD that you guys submitted, and I'll tell you what the difference between a Platinum player and an Immortal one really is. Before we get into it though, here's a real video of a SkillCapped.com subscriber covering for all of his no-com teammates in Valorant.
Sold your way, 79.
Remember, if you're really looking to climb this act, be sure to check out SkillCapped.com, link in the description below. Something that Platinum players don't seem to understand is the concept of knowing when to push and when not to push, and people just throw rounds for no reason. A common misconception that people have is that they think that every round they need to get 2 or more and carry themselves out of whatever rank they're in, but that's just not feasible. And the opposite still holds true. Some people are just too scared to take the space and take the fights that they need to win the round. Like, people are simply too afraid to take space with their utility. I mean, granted, in pro play, some things you might not want to push is a Sova by yourself, but in ranked, it's definitely a good idea. Let me show you what I mean. So our Sova has some pretty nice lineups. His arrows do a pretty good job at clearing out elbow, but the issue that I have with this play is that he does nothing with this information. He has 2 teammates on B site, one being Viper, meaning that they can surely either cancel the push or stall long enough to buy time for rotates. If Sova just took this space that he just cleared towards elbow and doesn't leave the angle, then Viper doesn't die. And if Viper can stall the push long enough, then Sova can pinch with the rest of his team through elbow. Notice how the enemy Jet didn't use anything to take elbow, she just walked in. So if Sova's there holding that angle, it's a free kill. By taking this space, Sova isn't playing scared, but he's playing to improve. He's not playing not to lose, but he's playing to win. Now, let's look at one of our Smurf commentaries from the website.
So one thing about KO is you want to get your knife as much, get full value out of it by throwing it as much as you can. So I think if you have a ability that regens time to time, use it, right? So I'm going to use this again to throw it here. If I don't see anyone, I might lean towards C. There's probably C.
You want a piece of this?
Ooh, one more mid. I was a little bit stuck there.
Decoy.
Yep. So you can see how I knifed and I didn't see anyone, so I took that opportunity to kind of push out and try to I did get my picks, but yeah.
If you listen to what Jaden said, he's 100% right. The knife that he threw gave him the information that no one was in window, and he was able to push down towards haystack. They literally can't swing window. It's impossible for him to be there. He gets a free 1v1 with anyone peeking this angle. With the gun advantage, this is a pretty good idea. I guarantee you though, if that knife picked up 4 or 5, he wouldn't be taking this fight. And by doing things like these, you get better at fighting, peeking, and then you start ranking up faster the more confident you play in your fights. But like I said, you don't want to be dumb with your plays. You want to be smart about them. If you know that the space is clear, don't be afraid to take it. And speaking of confidence, the worst thing you can do as a player looking to improve is this. Do you think when LeBron's taking a game-winning shot after he's missed his last 10 is saying this to himself? No, of course not. He's LeBron James. He's as confident as he was before his last shot. And you have to apply this to your own gameplay. And if you looked at the way that this Sova died, he's trying to hit some hard as heck shot with a Guardian, with a Jet dashing at him. What he said isn't true. He's not bad. But what he should have done was taken a longer duel near pillar, facing tunnel, so that he can be in a more fair fight with that Guardian that he used. But Immortal players are confident as heck, maybe too confident in some situations, and on your journey to that rank, it's going to be up to you and only you to hit those shots, make those plays, and win those clutches. Because if you're not confident in yourself, I promise you'll never rank up. Confidence is the biggest thing in this game. So like I said, players can sometimes have too much confidence. Let's take a look at this round for example. So as the round starts, our Viper goes for an aggressive peek for whatever reason. I mean, maybe she's tilted, I don't know. But our Sova just wide swings from backside, and I'll be the first one to tell you that this is never the play. If you look at how Breeze B-side is built, there's pillars and walls that you can use to your advantage to isolate 1v1s and maybe win these rounds. Instead, what our Sova does is wide swing in front of everyone, die, and then complain about how the game is too hard. People just let their emotions get the best of them sometimes. This game isn't hard. With some critical thinking, next time he can play more properly and get some kills. And I'm sure our Sova has the ability to get the kills. Like, I'm sure he knows what decent crosshair placement is, but he needs to set himself up in order to get them. And the play he made here was out of anger and frustration and not really smart. So let's take a look at how our coach plays in his Plat lobby.
And today I'll be playing KO on Haven. What I usually like to buy is a Ghost and a Flash. Kind of late start here. 1A. Too short.
Suppress it. They're suppressed.
So I'm waiting for this person to come out. One on site. Nice. Good
Spike
kill.
down A.
One more A short.
One enemy
A short. A
remaining.
short. Nice. Good job.
So Jaden's nuts. Notice how when the enemies are hitting the A site, he uses his knife to delay the push. He then extends his body past the crate just enough to peek the jet, but quickly regressing so he can't get traded and gives himself another 1v1. He gets to and gets taken down by the enemy Omen, but Jaden did his job this round, and then some. In Immortal, people know how to fight and have this level of game sense and awareness that you're going to have to adopt if you want to stand a chance. Our Sova might have gotten one by wide swinging, but in that certain situation, that just isn't enough. He needs to be good for more than that. I just see people in lower ranks overextend too much. They get frustrated and it costs them rounds. But sometimes your swings aren't losing you rounds, but it's your positioning instead. Positioning is one of the most important things in this game. It's a tactical shooter, but it's something that people just don't quite understand. In this round, our Sova dies with a Marshall while peeking cave, but then he complains about his team's positioning. But if we look back at that play, his teammate's positioning was actually fine. I mean, I don't know what Viper's doing in Nest. To be fair, I don't know what she's doing in any part of this game. She might be an AI that Riot threw in the game, but it's all good. But for everyone else, they're in pretty good spots. Sage has a crossfire with Sova, and since it's an eco, she doesn't have slow orbs to stop a push. A peek in mid is probably a good idea, and she does find a kill. Now if our Sova kills the Reyna, then they win the round. Because then the enemy team is all flustered and they're getting worried about them winning the round and they start making mistakes. That Sova's kill in the middle of sight is their win condition. And egos are hard to win, but it seems like our Sova is frustrated and doesn't really understand positioning, because that wasn't the issue there. Now here's an actual example of bad positioning. Jaden is playing in a spot where he can get a kill and maybe get out, but the off angle he's playing on isn't the greatest. Not because he's peeking short, but because his Omen is playing in heaven for some reason. And he admits this in the bot himself. If one player is playing on site aggressively, going for a peek or something, and the other one is playing passively, they're both playing it wrong. Either Jaden needs to play on site with his Omen, or Omen needs to be up playing somewhere with Jaden. Neither player is in position to make trades off the other person. Omen's baiting Jaden, but Jaden needs to notice this. For example, if your Jet wants to peek somewhere with an operator, why not drone her up? Or maybe she wants to dash on somebody with knives. Throw a KO flash, a breach flash, a sky flash, an Omen flash. Help her out. Don't sit in heaven and just watch her die. So not only is this a lesson about positioning, but Radiant and Immortal players aren't perfect either, and neither are you. So don't be too hard on yourself when you do accidentally mess up, just learn from it and move on. But with that being said, Immortal players know how to play off one another, and if you learn how to do that in lower ranks, you'll start moving up more quickly. Because think about it, let's say for example, Omen was playing with Jaden. Maybe he was playing an A link and he was holding his blind out, waiting for Jaden to call for it. Omen blinds, and Jaden's good for like 2 there, and then they win the round. This is the type of thinking that is required if you want to hit Immortal. But this was all just one in-depth guide that we have on our website though. Also, like I said, if you want a chance to having your VOD reviewed, be sure to subscribe on our website at SkillCapped.com. We also have tons of Radiant Smurf commentaries where we have Radiant players walking through exactly how to play in any situation at any rank. And they're just super helpful to see in real time what goes through a top tier player's head. Like I said, it's also backed by a rank improvement guarantee, and the reason we do that is because you're just that confident that our service works. And if it doesn't work, then you shouldn't pay. So what are you waiting for? You got nothing to lose. Head it over to SkillCapped.com and get started on your way to that rank that you deserve. So hopefully you guys have a better understanding as to what it really takes to hit Immortal. I was being serious when I said that anyone can hit Immortal. It just requires some patience, self-reflection, and some hard work. And like they say, nothing worthwhile in life isn't easy, otherwise everyone would do it. But I believe you can hit Immortal. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. And that's all for us. I'm Teets, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.